this is Rosa Kelly. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the Baby Girl First Year mini album tutorial. So we are going to continue working with the next three signature pages. So far on video one we did the base of the book, and then we went ahead and did the inside covers, and on video two we work on the first three signature pages, and now we're going to continue with the next three signature pages. So I went ahead and printed a few more sheets. As you know, we're working with my digital Sweet Baby Girl collection. It's called Baby Dreams or Sweet Dreams Baby Girl, and I also have the boy version if you want to recreate the same book using the boy collection. And so we are going to continue. Oh, let me show you what I reprinted. I reprinted this page here. I just love how these pages turned out, and although we already used some of these, I just kind of want to repeat some of these for the other pages. And then I went ahead and reprinted two sets of the background complementary pages here. So all of those, and then these I already had that I didn't use yet, so we're gonna be using these pages as well. So anyway, I am going to finish that page that we were working on actually, which was the pop-up. So I needed to reprint one more sheet to finish up just adding the paper on that page. So we're gonna cut these. I'm gonna cut these at 7 by 8, and you probably already did this, so you don't have to do that again, but let me show you what I mean. So the last page that we worked on had this pop-up, and I needed another background here, so they look a little bit different because I printed this on my old printer, and I have a new printer now, and wow, I didn't realize how different it looks. It's just like the definition on the printer makes, I guess, a big difference. I don't know if it matters really, but I'll show you here. So this was my older printer, which still look pretty nice, but this new printer, wow, the images really look like they're floating on the background. They just look so good. But anyway, so I'm still having headaches with the new printer because for some reason it keeps going on sleep mode, and every time I want to print something, the printer's on sleep mode, and it won't just, I don't know, it won't just come back to online by itself when I send the print like my old one used to do. I cannot really, I don't know what to do. I unplug it and plug it back on, which I know it's not what you should be doing, and hopefully it won't ruin the printer on the long term. But yeah, I've been looking online on solutions for that, but I don't know. But at least the prints do look really nice. So there you go. So that is the other side here. So now the pop-up, it's complete and ready here. So we're gonna put this one to the side and start working on the next signature page. So with these three signatures, and I believe this was the month number 6 for the baby, so we're gonna continue with month number 7. So for this page, oops, I don't want to cut these. I'm gonna put this to the side here, and so I'm gonna try to use some of I have a lot of half cut pieces here, so I'm gonna use some of these, but for this page we are going to cut 2 pieces at 7 1/4, and we're gonna do this by 7 1/2, and we're going to score along the 7 1/2. We're going to score at 1/2 inch. Okay, so 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch here, and then we're going to fold along the score lines, fold and fold, And we're going to grab our next signature page, and we're going to be gluing one of these along the top. So let's add the glue and add this here. Okay, so there we go. And you want to just center that on the page. Okay, and then we're going to glue. Let me actually fix this really quick. It needs to be a little bit higher. Okay, press down, and then we're going to add the other one along the bottom of the page. What is this? Okay, so let's just add this one here. Right there. Okay, so you want to make sure they're lined up to the one on the top. Okay. And press down. Now I'm also going to cut one piece, and this is going to be about 8.5. So what is this? So you want to make these about 8.5 by, I'm going to use some of my scraps here. So maybe this will be good. So I'm going to make it a little bit bigger than my scraps. I'm going to find a bigger piece. Because what I want to do is a belly band, but I want to be able to use some of these images or half pages that I have. So this is going to be about 4.5, and I'm gonna cut this already here. So this is gonna be 4.5 by 7.25, and then my cardstock is going to be 8.5, okay, by 4.75. Oh, perfect. And we're going to actually cut this. I think I didn't cut this right. 1 second. So 4.75 by 8.5. And along the 8.5, we want to score at 1/2 inch and at 8. And then we are going to fold along the score lines. And let's bring this back, open up, open down, and then we're going to place this right at the center. So this is going to be a belly band, and I'm going to add my glue. Add my glue here, and just place this at the center of the page. So press down, and add some glue. Okay, so then this is going to go right at the center, and then close these and close that, and then we can add a magnet here if you like to have it really like, sometimes I like when the magnet snaps. It just sounds nice, but you don't really need a magnet here if you want to skip on that. And we are going to add some tape. Here we go. Okay, so let's add the tape. Let me use this one. So we're gonna cut a couple pieces of tape. Okay, and here we go. Oops. Okay, and then just close this page here. And now we're just going to add our paper. So I'm going to be using this page here. And so we're going to cut this at 7. And this is going to be by 6.75. And I'm just going to put this on the top. Okay, so we're just gonna place these right there. Okay, and so there we go. And then for the bottom here, I think I'm just going to go for a background page. Maybe I can use this pink one here. Okay, and again, this is going to be the same size, so it's going to be 7 by 6 3/4. Okay, so let's do that. There we go. And then we are just going to glue this one right here. So let's add the glue. And place this piece here and close that up. And there you go. So that is going to be the 7th month page. And we're now going to turn this to the back and work on the 8th month page. So for the next page, I am going to be using, again, I have a lot of pieces here, but anyway, so I'm gonna cut one piece at 8.5, and this is going to be by 4.5. Okay, so 8.5 by 4.5, and we are going to score along the 8.5. We're going to score at half and at 8, and then along the 4.5 you want to score at half an inch. And I'm just making a pocket here, and then we're going to fold along the score lines. Okay, so we're gonna fold and fold here. Okay, and then we're going to just simply add the pocket on the page, and I'm going to add my glue. Okay, so we're just gonna add the glue and place this on the bottom of the page, and then press down and press down. There we go. And now I'm going to use this sheet here, and I'm going to cut. We're going to cut this at 7.25 side to side, and then I'm going to cut this section here. This is going to be 3 3/4. Okay, and then I'm also going to just take the white space up there, and we're gonna use this right here. So that's gonna go on the top of the pocket, and this is going to go on the back. And we're gonna add some glue, and we're gonna put that here. Okay, and then we're going to glue this piece on the back. And that is gonna go right there. Okay, and then over here on this side, I want to add a little foldable piece. So I want to make sure I have enough room, or I want to make sure I size it so I don't cover the bear. Okay, so we are going to cut a piece that is going to be 3.5. So right here, 3.5 by 7.5, and we're going to score along the 7.5. I'm going to score at 2.5 and at 5. Okay, and we're gonna make this little foldable piece, and it's gonna be an accordion fold. Okay, and then we're gonna place this right here on the side. Now we can add magnets if you want to have these to close as a little with a little magnet there, or we can add a little ribbon tie, which is what I want to do. I'm going to use this organza ribbon. You can use anything you have, like seam binding, any ribbon here, and we're just going to tie this close. So let's tie, make a little bow right there like that. So it's cute. It's just cute little detail here. Of course you can add magnets, but I think the bow just looks so cute. Okay, here we go. And then on the back I'm going to add a piece of tape just so it doesn't go, and just don't want that moving. And now I'm just going to glue this down on the pocket. Okay, so I'm just gonna add more glue right here, and we're gonna put that on the side right there. Okay, so we have a pocket, and then we have a cute little foldable right there on this side. So that is gonna be the 8-month page. I'm gonna put this back there, and now we're gonna work on the next page. So for the next page, which is going to be our 9 months, I am going to cut one piece, and this is going to be 7. Okay, so we're gonna do this at 7 by 8 1/4, and then we're going to do another piece that is going to be 6 by 8 1/4, and then I'm going to do one more piece, and this is going to be 5 by 8 1/4. Okay, and we are going to score all these pieces at 1/2 inch. Okay, so I'm gonna do 1/2 inch along the 7 inches, 1/2 inch along the 6 inches, and 1/2 inch along the 5 inches. Okay, and we're going to fold. Okay, so we're just going to fold along the score line, and we are going to bring back our next page, and I'm going to start with the largest piece, and we're going to glue this on the left side. So where you have your score lines, you want to fold those back. Okay, so fold those back for now, and then we are going to glue the biggest piece, place that right there, and press this down. Then we're gonna go with the next one, the glue, place this one right on top, press down, and then we're going to do this again here, and press down. Okay, so we have a side cascading page here. There we go. And because I want to use my larger, one of my larger design pages, which is the little bear sleeping, I think he's so cute, I'm going to do another flap on the other side. And so we are going to cut this other page here I'm going to do 7 3/4 by 8 1/4. Okay, 7 3/4 by 8 1/4. And we're going to score at 1/2 inch along the 7 3/4 and fold. And then we are going to open all of these, and we're going to place this page on the right side. Okay, so place that there and line these up, press down. Oops, I put it a little bit crooked, so I'm going to do that again. Okay, press down, and then we're going to open this up and close these here on top. Okay, so now this is going to open up, goes down, and now we have our cascading on the side, but we have a full page here, so we can add our design. Cute little bear. So we're gonna cut this page at this is going to be 7 1/2. So maybe more to the side. So 7 1/2 by 8. So we'll just center these. And oh, actually it's not 7 1/2. It's supposed to be 7, right? Yeah, I think. Okay, so we're gonna do this again. 7. There we go. Okay, and now we are just going to glue this page here. Okay, so now we're going to work on page number 10, and for this page I'm going to cut another piece here, and this one is going to be 8 1/4 by 7 1/2. Okay, so 7 1/2 by 8 1/4. And then we're going to cut another piece, and this one is going to be 8 1/2 by 1. Okay, and then we are going to need another piece that is going to be 3 by 1. So I'm just going to be making a sliding page here, and so we're just going to do these two pieces. Now we are going to score the piece that measures 8 1/2. We are going to score at 1/2 inch and at 8, and the piece that measures 3 inches we are going to score at 1 1/8 and at 2 1/2. And we are just going to fold. Then we're going to add some glue right over here, and we're gonna close this little section and make this loop, and we're gonna pass this through the longer piece, and then just fold these two score lines, and then we're going to bring back our page here, and we are going to add this belt right here along the bottom. So we're gonna add some glue here, and then just line this right there. Okay, and press down and press down. Then we are going to push this loop all the way to the right side, and we're going to add glue here on top of this little section, and we're going to add the piece that measures 7 1/2 by 8 1/4 right on top. Okay, so we're gonna add this piece, and we're just gonna wait for this to dry. And then this is going to be our super easy sliding page, and I'm going to add some magnets to keep these closed. Okay, so let's add a couple magnets here along the top. Let's get some tape. Here we go. So we're just gonna put 1 and 2 magnets here, and then we're gonna close these. Okay, so make sure this is straight, and then we're going to add the 2 magnets over here as well, and cut the tape, and there we go. And now we're going to add our design paper. So for this page, I'm going to use this design here, and we're going to cut these at 8. So I'm just going to take these right there, and this is going to be by 7 1/4. So I want to make sure I center these good this time. So I'm just looking at the 7 1/4, and kind of what I'm gonna do, because I never get it right, I'm gonna look at where I will be cutting. And okay, so I think that should be good. Okay, and now I'm just going to measure 7 1/4 here. Okay, not quite center, but almost there. I'm just too lazy to measure the exact center, but you could do that as well. All right, so we're just gonna remove the tape right there, and we're going to glue this page. So let's just add the glue and place this piece right there like that. Okay, and then this is going to be our sliding page there. And then for the background, I'm gonna use this page, and we're gonna cut these at 7 1/4 by 8. Okay, so we're just gonna do the same here, and then we're going to add this piece on the background there. Okay, so let's cut these, and I'm gonna put that there. So actually what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take about 3/4 inches from the bottom there. So let's cut these at 7 1/4, and that way we can put this one on the little belt section. Oops, okay. And we're going to add the glue right here. Okay, so this is gonna go under that belt a little bit, and then we are just going to place this piece right there. Okay, and then the little 3/4 inch that we cut from the bottom, we are just going to glue this here. So we're gonna place that under that loop, and there you go. Okay, so that is going to be page number 10. Go. So we're gonna put this one at the end of the pile, and next we're gonna be working on, we have the last 2 pages. So for this page, I'm going to be doing a waterfall, but this is going to be one of those pull down waterfalls. So I'm going to cut this first piece at 2 by 8 1/2. Okay, and then we're going to score along the 8 1/2. We're going to score at 1/2 inch and at 8, and we're going to fold and fold here, And we're going to be adding these as a belly band. So I'm gonna leave about an inch away from the bottom edge, maybe about an inch and a quarter, I want to say. Yeah, it's about an inch and a quarter. We're going to add some glue. Okay, and just place this piece up here. And there you go, and then press down. And then I'm going to just use the same design for the background here. So we want to glue these. It's a little bit easier if we glue it before we add the feature here. So I'm cutting these at 7 1/4 by 8. Okay, and we are going to just pass this under that belly band. Okay, so here we go. Just adding some glue. Okay, so that is going to go right there. And press down. Okay, so we're just going to press, and press down. Okay, so now I'm going to cut. We're going to cut another piece, and this one it's going to be 10, and let's do this by 6. Okay, we're going to score along the 10 inches at 1/2 inch, at 1, 1.5, 2, and at 2.5. And we are just going to fold along the score lines each one of these pieces here. Okay, there we go. Then we are going to put this to the side, and we're gonna cut 5 pieces that are going to be 4 3/4 by 6. So I'm gonna see if I can use some of my leftovers here. Okay, so I'm gonna start with this. So we're gonna cut 6 by 4 3/4. Okay, and again here 6 by 4 3/4. So that's 2. And then I'm going to, I have more scrap pieces here. So let's see here. So again 6 by 4 3/4. And then I'm gonna need one more. So I'm just gonna cut a new one. 4 3/4 by 6. Okay, and we are going to glue those pieces over here. So we're going to start from the bottom, and we're going to add some glue, and then we're going to add this first piece. So we're just going to place that right there. Okay, then we're gonna add the next one, and add this piece, and we're doing every section at a time. Okay, so each one at a time. So again, so 1/2 inch, you add the glue, and now you add the piece, and then here on this next 1/2 inch, we're gonna add the piece right there, and then finally we're gonna add this last piece here. Okay, and oops, and there we go. And now we're just going to press down. And we're gonna open each one. So open this back, press down, open this back, press down, open, press down, and then open and press down. And now we are going to open the whole thing, and we're gonna pass these through the page here, and we are going to glue these down. Okay, so that's gonna go right there. Now before I glue that down, I'm going to add some paper. So let's see, maybe I can just use this moon page here. You won't see it because you're gonna glue on top, but I just don't want it to be so plain. So we're gonna cut these at 7 1/4, and I can't remember what this was, so this is by 2, so we're gonna cut these by 1 3/4. Okay, and we're going to just stick that out for a minute. We're gonna glue these down. So let's just add this little piece right here. Okay, there we go. And now we're going to open these up, and you're gonna place this right at the center. Okay, so we're gonna center that, and then we are just gonna hold the bottom and open this up, and we're going to add glue on the belt here, or on the belly band. Okay, just add your glue, and then we are going to close this whole page. Okay, and then we're just gonna wait for this to dry. Give it a second. Press and down, and there we go. So now you can pull down from the last piece, and you're gonna have your pull down waterfall. Now you do want to kind of play with these and make sure each one of these opens more flat. Okay, and there you go. So now you're gonna go one at a time. Again, I'm just gonna make this flat, make this flat, and there you go. Super fun and easy page to add to your books. And now we're just gonna work on our last page, and this is going to be for the 12 months. We already have the 12 months, so the 12 months is kind of like the bigger spread of this book. So I'm going to cut 2 pieces, and these are going to be 8 1/4. So I'm gonna cut that. Actually, I'm gonna cut this here first. We're gonna cut this at 7 by 8 1/4. Okay, so you're gonna need 2 of those. So again, 7 by 8 1/4. And then we are going to cut 2 pieces. I'm just gonna use my scraps here, and then these are going to be 7 1/4, and I'm gonna do this by 4 1/4. Okay, and there we go. So now we are going to score the 2 pieces here. We're gonna score along the 4 1/4 at 1/2 inch. And the 2 bigger pieces we're going to score along the 7 at 1/2 inch. And we're just going to fold along the score lines. So we're going to start with this. We have 1, 2, and then the smaller pieces. Okay, and we're gonna bring back our page, and we're going to add the 2 larger pieces first, and these are gonna go 1 on each side, and we're going to add the glue right here, and just add these to the side. side and press down. And then we're going to do, oops, okay, let's let this dry here for a minute. Okay, then you're gonna open that up. And I need more glue here. Okay, so I'm just gonna press down. There we go. And then we're going to add the other side. So we're gonna add some glue and place this on the other side, right there. And then press down, open this up, and press down. And then on the center, we're going to add these two other pieces. Okay, and then we're just going to glue these right at the center here. Okay, so press down, and then we're going to add the glue and put this page or this section here up on the top, and then press down. Okay, and then so for this page I wanted to have this kind of like large layout to put a lot of pictures, but then also have these two places so you can add photo mats on the center, or you can add cards if you're gonna be dedicating this to the first birthday party. And there we go. Now we're just gonna add a couple magnets here to keep this closed. Oops. So I'm gonna add 2 magnets because this might get a little heavy if you add things inside. So just want to be safe and double on these magnets here. And then we're going to add the ones on top. Okay, and there we go. Now we are just adding these 2 and close this page. Okay, and now we're just pressing on the tape, so that is our last page. Okay, so now I do want to look at what design we have here, because I want to make sure the one on this side is going to look nice with that. And I'm thinking on using that elephant page. So let's put this to the side. And we have this cute little elephant, so I'm gonna use this one. So we're gonna cut these at 8, and this is going to be by 6 3/4. So let's go ahead and mark the center. So I'm just gonna mark the center, which is going to be 4 1/4. And then I'm gonna try to line that 4 1/4 here to the 3. I guess it will be 3 and 3. See, now I don't even know what I'm doing. So 3 1/2, maybe a little bit less than 3 1/2. Okay, 3 3/8. Let's do that. And now we're gonna count here at 6 1/4. I lost my train of thought. See, this is why I can't like center. This is too much. So 6 1/4. And I'm supposed to be good in math, but you know, it's too late in the day. Okay, so there we go. And actually it looks kind of center. It looks pretty center. So we did good with this one. All right, so we are just going to go ahead and glue these down right here. Okay, and then you can come back and add the paper on all the other pages as well. But that is going to be our page number 12, and we have now completed completed all of our signature pages, and on the next video we are going to be adding the pages to our book, and we're going to be working on the cover. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next video.